Welcome to SunnySpeaks. Here again with another review for you, and you. And today, I'm here to talk about Opus, written and directed by Mark Anthony Green, and starring Ayo Edebiri, John Malkovich, Murray Bennett, and many more. After a legendary music artist comes back to the scene after 30 years with his 16th studio album, a young journalist named Ariel, played by Ayo Edebiri, is invited to an exclusive listening party to hear it first, but the experience is more than she wishes it to be. This movie is very Midsummer inspired, and I appreciate that film a lot. Wish I felt the same way about this one though. Starting with Ayo Edebiri as Ariel Ecton, our main character. She is the best part of this movie, easily on the acting side. I don't think she is given a lot to stretch her range, but following her through this odd and bloody journey is fun and easy. She also has crazy fits throughout the entire movie that I really liked. The costume design was amazing in this movie, and her hair was fire. One thing I did appreciate about her character in this movie is the strength that she holds. She's very headstrong on what she wants and the goals that she wants to achieve in her career as a journalist and as a writer. And even though there are constant roadblocks that are in her way, she is very confident that she is the right person for the job and that she can get to where she wants to be, even in the face of tragedy and of horror. And I found that really cool to see in a character, but also in a black woman character. I just appreciated that portrayal. And she's very easy to root for in this movie because every other character kind of sucks. John Malkovich as Alfred Moretti, the pop star that is coming out of retirement that everybody is so excited about. I enjoyed when he was on screen, even if it is a little over the top at times, which is purposeful. I don't know why when Mark Ruffalo does it in A Poor Things or a Mickey 17, I enjoy that, but most times when things feel over the top, it definitely breaks the immersion. His music is also kind of hard for me to fully understand. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Every time they played Alfred Moretti's music in the movie, I didn't understand why people loved it so much. I understand what they were going for, a David Bowie-esque person who is eccentric and is a pop star, but I found it hard to connect to and hard to believe that he would be this big of an artist, considering his vocal delivery and just the overall vibe of his music just seemed to me. The interesting thing when comparing Alfred Moretti to a David Bowie, which is definitely the correlation that I connected to, is that his 16th studio album isn't like a Black Star, which is David Bowie's last album that is very somber and melancholic and very reflective on his career. Instead, this album is almost like a reinvention of Moretti and trying to reclaim what he had before. My favorite scenes in this movie are when Ariel and Alfred are talking to each other. I feel like that's when the most effort was put on screen acting-wise, and their dynamic was very interesting to me too. Ariel being a go-getting journalist, trying to make a name for herself, feeling like something is off at this compound, and Alfred being this icon who speaks like he's never been told no before, speaking in odd riddles and only giving pieces of truth he finds acceptable in conversation. When they were on screen together, that was when I was the most locked in, and those scenes are way too far apart from each other. I genuinely loved when Alfred and Ariel were talking. It felt like a chess game being played of somebody trying to pull the truth from a person who guards that so dearly. I'm not going to talk about any other actors or actresses in this movie because honestly, nobody else did that much for me or was even given that much to do. Amber Midthunder is in this movie, and even though I think she works as her character and definitely has some funny comedic timing and can be very scary when she turns that switch, she doesn't talk really the entire time, and that didn't really bother me. But as I've talked about before, I think Amber Midthunder is a great talent, and it would have been cool to see her character be a little bit more. So I thought that was kind of a letdown, and I do feel like not a lot of people in this movie are able to really do a lot on the acting side. Most characters in this movie are representative of paparazzi, of the people who consume art and the people who talk about art rather than the artists. And I understand what the movie is going for. I understand that commentary, but I do think that not only is it heavy-handed on what it's trying to say, but it doesn't do it in a way that even feels interesting, in my opinion. What attracted me the most in this movie was how it looked visually. The color theory in this film is beautiful, and I like how shots are set and what they represent sometimes. Tommy Maddox Upshaw is the cinematographer on this film, and I hope he gets more work, because he was cooking the whole time. And Shirley Kurata, hope I'm saying that right, is the costume designer. And like I said before, Ariel Ecton has some of the coolest outfits I've seen so far this year in film. I think that they dressed her perfectly, and her outfits really showcased what her character really was, even when she was being reserved. And I liked how the clothes that she was wearing could represent herself. It was really, really well done, and shout out to the costume designer and the cinematographer. The worst part of this movie is the writing. The dialogue is boring for so much of this. It's trying to be a dark comedy horror film, and this movie is not funny at all. It is so rare that a laugh or a chuckle even came out of me, even when they were absolutely trying to make you laugh. It's hard to connect to the jokes that they're trying to say, and it feels very forced a lot of the time. Ayo Edebiri has great comedic timing. She always does, and I think that even in this movie, she is likable, and the funniest moments in this film come from her. When John Malkovich was trying to be funny or trying to be eccentric in a weird but entertaining way, I didn't really feel that whatsoever. The smaller moments of comedy is really what I appreciated the most in this film, because it's not saying, look at me, laugh at me. It's just characters exchanging dialogue, and gems are inside. But when it's forced, which is throughout most of this runtime, it was really, really hard to connect to. The horror elements in this movie are very tame. If you enjoy body horror and cult elements in your horror soup, then you will enjoy this movie and what it has to offer. Like I said before, this movie is obviously inspired by Midsommar in so many ways, even the way that the movie is shot, where it's all really in the day. Even when the climax happens, a lot of that is during the day to offset the horror that you're seeing. But again, it doesn't have any of the same energy that Midsommar had. Like, the cult elements in Midsommar really, really work because it's incredibly odd, but you also don't fully understand what you're looking at. This movie, it's so obvious what's happening, and the main character is constantly speaking on what's happening right now and why we aren't leaving and why we're letting things slide. Things go too far for these characters to not recognize that their lives are in danger, and so then it makes the characters just seem stupid and not worth your time. Bennett plays Ariel's boss. I don't remember his name, and he is such a dumb character, and it really made me dislike just that whole side of the screen whenever he was on, because I just couldn't feel anything from what he was doing, because the choices his character made just makes no sense at all. And I do think that overall affects the horror, because if you don't really feel for what these characters are and who they are, and feel like there was no other way for them to get out of this, then when they're dying, you just feel disconnected from what's happening. That's why, at least for Ariel, I was really able to connect to her story, and I rooted for her when things went really horribly, because she fought for her life up until that point. This movie isn't offensively bad. It's not a hard eyes. It's not a red one, but it's not good. And I do feel like this movie has a lot that it lacks, while having a really good main character because of the actress, and having great visuals and good ideas on what they wanted to do commentary on. Overall, this movie does lack a lot of substance and a lot of character. There's so many other characters that could have been more and could have been more established, and they choose not to do that because of whatever reasons they had in the script. And I just found that very lacking and hard to connect to. And by the end of this film, when they do this twist at the end, while enjoying the conversation that is had between Ariel and Alfred one last time, I did not care about that twist whatsoever. And this movie will not get a sequel. So that entire thing felt like, what is this? I would give this movie a cloudy rating. I wish it was better. I actually was excited for it, but heard a lot of bad things before I'd seen it. Went into it with an open mind, and have to be honest, it wasn't good. This has been my review of Opus. If you have seen Opus, let me know what you think in the comments down below, because perspective is key. And if you haven't seen it, let me know if this review makes you want to go see the movie or not. Like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. I'll be back again, and peace.